Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll continue our reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter number 20, verse number 218. We shall continue our reading today from Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamham Bande Shri Gurum Deen Tarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Verse 218. एमत ब्रह्मांड मध्ये सबार प्रकाश सप्तद्वीपे नवखंडे यानहार vilas. Within the universe, the Lord is situated in different spiritual manifestations. These are situated on 7 islands in 9 sections. Thus, their pastimes are going on. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And also, I would like to give greetings to everyone on the Tirobhav, or the disappearance day of Jagannath Babaji Maharaj, who is the first Acharya placed on the altar of the Gaudiya Madhava Vaishnava Sampradaya. The 7 islands are mentioned in Siddhanta Shiromani. Bhumer Ardham Kshara Sindhore Udak Stham Jambu Dvipam Prahur Acharya Varayaha Ardhe Anyasmin Dvip Shaktasya Yamahe Kshar Kshiradi Ambudhinam Niveshaha Shakam Tataha Shalamalam Atra Kausham Karunancham Cha Govedaka Pushkare Cha Dvayor Antaram Ekam Samudrayor Dvipam Udarhanti. The 7 islands of Dvipas are known as Jambu, Shaka, Shalmali, Kusha, Kronch, Gomed or Plaksha, and Pushkar. The planets are called Dvipas. Outer space is like an ocean of air. Just as there are islands in the watery ocean, these planets in the ocean of space are called Dvipas or islands in outer space. There are 9 khandas known as Bharat, Kinnar, Hari, Kuru, Hiranmaya, Ramyak, Ilavrita, Bhadrashva, and Ketumala. These are different parts of Jambudvip. A valley between 2 mountains is called Khanda or Varsh. So, verse number 218 of the 20th chapter describes the different parts of the Jambudvip. Verse 219. Sarvatra Prakasha Tanra Bhakte Sukhadite Jagatera Adharma Nashi Dharma Sthapite. Excuse me. The Lord is situated in all the universes in different forms just to please His devotees. Thus the Lord destroys irreligious principles and establishes religious principles. Purport. In the material world, the Lord is situated in different archamurtis of the deities in the temples just to decrease the material activities of the conditioned soul and increase his spiritual activities. Particularly in India, there are many temples throughout the country. Devotees may take advantage of them and go see the Lord at Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, Prayag, Mathura, Haridwar, and Vishnu Kanchi. So these are the main tirthas or the holy places. I'll repeat their names. They are Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, Prayag, Mathura, Haridwar, and Vishnu Kanchi. So this is where the devotees travel to see these places and see the Lord. They become very happy in devotional services. Verse 220. Inhar madhe karo haye avatare ganana yaiche Vishnu Trivikrama Nrsimha Vamana. Of these forms, some are considered incarnations. Examples are Lord Vishnu, Lord Trivikram, Lord Nrsimha, and Lord Vamana. Verse 221. Astra dhriti bheda nama bhedera karana chakradi dharana bheda shuna Sanātana. My dear Sanātana, as we know, chapter 20, Lord is instructing Sanātana Gosvāmī. So Lord Chaitanya says to Sanātana Gosvāmī, "My dear Sanātana, just hear from me as I tell you how the different Vishnumurtis hold their weapons, beginning with the disc, and how they are named differently according to the placement of the weapons in their hands." So how differently every entity is holding the weapon in their hand, and they're named according to the placement of the weapons. Verse 222. Dakshinadho hasta haite vamad paryanta chakradi astra dharana Gananar Anta. The procedure of counting begins with the lower right hand and goes to the upper right hand and upper left hand and the lower left hand. I'll repeat. The procedure for counting begins with the lower right hand and goes to the upper right hand and then the upper left hand to the lower left hand. Lord Vishnu is named according to the order of the weapons he holds in his hands. Verse 223. Siddhartha Samhita Kare Chabisha Murti Ganana Tar Mate Kahi Age Chakradi Dharana. According to the Siddhartha Samhita, there are 24 forms of Lord Vishnu. First, I shall describe, according to the opinion of that book, the location of the weapons beginning with the disc. Purport: the 24 forms are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Keshav, Narayan, Madhav, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudan, Trivikram, Vaman, Sridhar, Rishikesh, Padmanabha, Damodar, Purushottam, Achyut, Nrisimha, Janardhan, Hari, Krishna, Adokshaja, and Upendra. When you do the full Achaman, you repeat these names as you know in this order. So these are the 24 different forms of Vishnu or of Lord Vishnu. Verse 224. Vasudev Gada Shankha Chakra Padma Dhara Dhara Sankarshan Gada Shankha Padma Chakra Kara. In his lower right hand, Lord Vasudev holds a club, in the upper right hand a conch shell, in the upper left hand a disc, and in the lower left hand a lotus flower. In his lower right hand, Sankarshan holds a club, in his upper right hand a conch shell, in his upper left hand a lotus flower, and his lower left hand a disc. Verse 225. Pradyumna Chakra Shankh Gada Padmadhara Aniruddha Chakra Gada Shankh Padmakara. Pradyumna holds a disc, conch, club, and lotus. Aniruddha holds a disc, club, conch, and lotus. So it's just the 4 items, but they are in a different order in the 4 hands of the different forms of Vishnus, and hence they get their different names. Verse number 226. Paravyome Vasudevadi Nij Nij Astra Dhara Tanra Mata Kahi Ye Sab Astra Kara. Thus in the spiritual sky, the expansions headed by Vasudev hold weapons in their own respective order. I am repeating the opinion of the Siddhartha Samhita in describing them. Verse 227. Shri Keshav Padma Shankh Chakra Gadadhara Narayana Shankh Padma Gada Chakradhara. Lord Keshav holds a lotus, conch, disc, and club. Lord Narayan holds the conch, lotus, club, and disc. So this is so interesting when we read about this, that just the placement of lotus, conch, disc, and clubs is going to differentiate the names of the Lord. And I must say, because my better half's initiated name is Narayan Keshav Prabhu, so I can just clearly see where our Guru Maharaj, Srila Chaitanya Maharaj, he got his initiated name from. I can actually pinpoint to him the verse It's this verse, chapter 20, verse 227 from the Madhya Lila of the CC. So as I keep saying, no wonder they say Chaitanya Charitamrita to be the postgraduate study, PhD, because it has got everything from all of the Shastras condensed here. So we can see our Acharyas were so empowered. Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosvāmī, who was the disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. And every time we open these books for reading, we learn so much knowledge, so much wealth of knowledge coming out from there. So moving on to verse number 228. Shri Madhav Gada Chakra Shankh Padmakara, Shri Govinda Chakra Gada Padma Shankh Dhara. Lord Madhav holds the club, disc, conch and lotus. Lord Govinda holds the disc, club, lotus and conch. Verse 229. Vishnu Murti Gada Padma Shankh Chakra Kara, Madhusudan Chakra Shankh Padma Gada Dhara. Lord Vishnu holds the lotus, club, lotus, conch and disc. Lord Madhusudan holds a disc, conch, lotus and club. Verse 230. Trivikram Padma Gada Chakra Shankh Kara, Shri Vamana Shankh Chakra Gada Padma Dhara. Lord Trivikram holds the lotus, club, disc and conch. Lord Vamana holds the conch, disc, club and lotus. Verse 231. Sridhara Padma Chakra Gada Shankh Kara, Rishikesha Gada Chakra Padma Shankh Dhara. Lord Sridhar holds the lotus, disc, club and conch. Lord Rishikesh holds the club, disc, lotus and conch. Verse 232. Padmanabha Shankh Chakra, Shankh Padma Chakra Gada Kara. Damodar Padma, Padma Chakra Gada Shankh Dhara. Lord Padmanabha holds the conch, lotus, disc and club. Lord Damodar holds the lotus, disc, club and conch. Verse 33. Purushottam Chakra Padma Shankh Gadadhara, Shri Achyuta Gada Padma Chakra Shankh Dhara. Lord Purushottam holds the disc, lotus, conch and club. Lord Achyut holds the club, lotus, disc and conch. Verse 234. Shri Nrsimha Chakra Padma Gada Shankh Dhara, Janardana Padma Chakra Shankh Gada Kara. Lord Nrsimha holds the disc, lotus, club and conch. Lord Janardana holds the lotus, disc, conch and club. Verse 235. Shri Hari Shankh Chakra Padma Gada Kara, Shri Krishna Shankh Gada Padma Chakra Kara. Adhokshaja Padma Gada Shankh Chakra Kara, Upendra Shankh Gada Chakra Padma Kara. Lord Adhokshaja holds the lotus, club, conch and disc. Lord Upendra holds the conch, club, disc and lotus. Verse 237. Haya Shirsha Pancharatre Kahe Shola Jana Taramate Kahi Ebe Chakrati Dharana. According to the Hayashirsha Pancharatra, there are 16 personalities. I shall not describe that opinion of how they hold the weapons. But the 16 personalities are as follows: Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Keshava, Narayana, Madhava, Govinda, Vishnu, Madhusudan, Trivikram, Vaman, Sridhar, Rishikesh, Padmanabha and Damodar. These are the 16 names we... Actually 12, yeah. Yes, 12 names we call. Among these 12 names we call out when we do the tilak. We do the tilak on our body after the snan in the morning. Verse 238. Keshav Bhede Padma Shankha Gada Chakradhara, Madhav Bhede Chakra Gada Shankha Padmakara. Keshav is described differently as holding the lotus, conch, club and disc. I'll repeat. Keshav is described as holding lotus, conch, club and disc. And Madhav is described as holding disc, club, conch, and lotus in his hands. So next time, if you remember this the sequence of holding the disc, lotus, club and conch, when you go to the temple, you can tell which roop is there of the Vishnu in the Vigraha. Verse 239. Narayan Vede Nana Astra Bhed Dhara Ityadika Bheda E Saba Astrakara. According to the Hayarshish Pancharatra, Narayan and others are also presented differently as holding the weapons in different hands. So many different Shastras describe this and how different sequence of weapons is held by the different forms of Vishnumurti. Verse 240. Swayam Bhagwan Ar Lila Purushottam Edui Nam Dhare Vrajendra Nandan. Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, indicated as the son of Maharaj Nand, has two names. One is Swayam Bhagwan and the other is Lila Purushottam. So it's so nice to read that Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, indicated as the son of Maharaj Nanda, has two names. One is Swayam Bhagwan and the other is Lila Purushottam. Swayam Bhagwan and Lila Purushottam. Now moving on to verse number 241. Purir Avarana Rupe Purir Navadeshe Navavyuha Rupe Navamurti Parakashe. Lord Krishna personally surrounds Dwarakapuri as its protector in different parts of the city. In 9 places he expands in 9 different forms. Verse 242. Chatvaro Vasudevaya Narayana Nrisimhalkau Hayagrivo Mahakrodo Brahma Cheti Navoditaha. Navodita is the 9 personalities. The 9 personalities mentioned are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Narayan, Nrisimha, Hayagriv, Varaha and Brahma. This verse is found in the Lagu Bhagavatamrit. The Brahma mentioned herein is not a living entity. Sometimes when there is scarcity of living entities to take charge of Brahma's post, Mahavishnu expands himself as Lord Brahma. As Lord Brahma to take charge. This Brahma is not considered to be a living entity. He as an expansion of Vishnu. So we are learning so many things as we read verse after verse. How Lord, he just expands himself to take charge of post of Lord Brahma. Brahma as well. When there is scarcity of living entities to take that post. Verse 243. Prakash Vilasera E Kailun Vivarna Swamshera Bheda Ebe Shuna Sanātana. I've already described the pastimes and Prakash forms. Now please hear about the different personal expansions. So sometimes I think that if we start making notes of these, what's happening in these verses, we'll be just consuming so much ink and paper, but what will we be able to retain in our heads? What our memories will be holding? It's just understanding that God can be the Anu, God can be the Vibhu. God is controlling everything, but still God is different from everything. He is maintaining everything, still is aloof from everything. You just have to remember that much. Because we have to do the devotional service of the Lord. We just don't have to be in awe and reverence all the time. Verse 243, Prakash Vilasira Aikailun Vivarana. I think I've just said that already. I've already described the pastime and Prakash forms. Now please hear about the different personal expansions. Verse 244. Sankarshan Matsyadika Dui Bhed Tamra Sankarshan Purushavatar Lila Avatar Ar. The first personal expansion is Sankarshan, and the other incarnations like the fish incarnation. Sankarshan is an expansion of the Purusha Vishnu. The incarnations such as Matsya, the fish incarnation, appear in different yugas for specific pastime. Purport: the Purusha avatars are the lords of the universal creation. These are Karmadakshay Vishnu, Karbadakshay Vishnu, and Kshiradakshay Vishnu. There are also Lila avatars, and these include Chatushna and four Kumars: Narad, Varaha, Matsya, Yajna, Nar Narayan, Kardami, Kapil, Dattatreya, Hayashira, Hamsa, Dhruva Priya or Prishni Garbha, Rishabh, Prithu, Nrisimha, Kurma, Dhanvantari, Mohini, Vaman, Bhargav, Parashuram, Raghavendra, Vyasa, Pralambari, Balram, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki. These 25 personalities of Godhead are known as Lila avatars because they appear in each day of Brahma or in each kalp or the millennium. They are sometimes known as Kalpa avatars. Of these incarnations, Hams and Mohini are neither permanent nor very well known, but they are listed among the Prabhav avatars. Kapil, Dattatreya, Rishabh, Dhanvantari, and Vyas are eternally situated and very widely known. They are also counted among the Prabhav incarnations. Kurma, Matsya, Narayan, Varaha, Hayagriva, Prishnigarbha, and Baldev, the killer of Pralambasur, are counted among the Vaibhav avatars. So we have now a very famous chart made by the Bhaktivedanta Swami and his disciples, which gives kind of 3D, or should we say 4D effect of all these systems, and all these avatars are beautifully written there. Verse 245, you can check that on Google, or you can have a printout as well, or get it printed for yourself. Verse 245, Avatara Haya Krishnera Shad Vidha Prakara Purushavatara Eka Lila Avatara Ar. There are 6 types of incarnations, avatars of Krishna. One comprises of incarnations of Vishnu, that is the Purusha avatars, and other comprises the incarnations meant for the performance of the pastimes, the Lila avatars. Verse 246, Gunavatar Ar Manvantar Avatar, Yuga Avatar Ar Shaktya Avesha Avatar. There are incarnations that control the material qualities, the Gunavatars, incarnations who appear during the reign of each Manu, the Manvantara avatars, incarnations in different millenniums, the Yuga avatars, and incarnations of empowered living entities, Shaktavesha avatar. Purport: the Gunavatars are 3, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. This is from the Bhagavatam 10.88.3. The avatars who appear during the reign of each Manu, known as Manvantara avatars, are listed as follows in Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapters 1, 5, and 13. Yajna, Vibhu, Satyasena, Hari, Vaikuntha, Ajita, Vamana, Sarvabhauma, Rishabha, Vishwaksena, Dharmasetu, Sudhama, Yogeshwar, Brihad Bhanu. Altogether, these are 14 in number, and of these, Yajna and Vamana are also counted among the Lila avatars. All these Manvantara incarnations are sometimes called Vaibhav avatars. The 4 Yuga avatars are Shukla, the white, in Satyug. This is from Bhagavatam 11.5.21. Second is Rakta, or red, in Treta Yug. This is from Bhagavatam 11.5.24. Third is the Shyama, or dark blue, in Dwapar Yug. Bhagavatam 11.5.27. And fourth, generally Krishna, black, but in special cases yellow or Pita, as Chaitanya Mahāprabhu in Kali Yuga. Bhagavatam 11.5.32 and 10.8.13. The Shaktavesha avatars are categorized in 2 forms of divine absorption: Bhagavad Avesha, such as Kapil Dev or Rishabh Dev, and divinely empowered forms Shaktavesha, of whom 7 are foremost: Sheshanag in the Vaikuntha world, empowered for the personal service of the Supreme Lord Swa; Sevana Shakti, Anantadeva, empowered to bear all the planets within the universe; Bhudharana Shakti, Lord Brahma, empowered with the energy to create the cosmic manifestation, Srishti Shakti; Chatushra, or the Kumar, specifically empowered to distribute transcendental knowledge, Jnana Shakti; Narad Muni, empowered to distribute devotional service, that is the Bhakti Shakti; Maharaj Prithu, specifically empowered to rule and maintain the living entities, Palana Shakti; and Parshuram, specifically empowered to cut down rogues and demons, that is the Dushta Daman Shakti. So these are the Shaktavesh avatars. There are 7 of them, and each one has got a particular role. Verse 247. Balya Paganda Haya Vigrahera Dharma Eta Rupe Lila Karena Vrajendra Nandan. Childhood and boyhood are the typical ages of the deity. Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nand, performed his pastimes as a child and as a boy. Verse 248. Ananta Avatara Krishnera Nahika Ganana Shaka Chandra Nyaya Kari Dik Darshanam. There are innumerable incarnations of Krishna, and there is no possibility of counting them. We can simply indicate them by giving the example of the moon and the branches of a tree. Purport: although the moon appears to be located in the branch of a tree, it is actually situated very far away. Similarly, none of the avatars or incarnation of Lord are within this material world, but they are visible by the causeless mercy of the Lord. We should not consider them to belong to this material world, as stated by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad-Gita 9.11. Avajananti mam mudha manusham tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as a supreme Lord of all that be. Avatars descend of their own free will, and although they may act like ordinary human beings, they do not belong to this material world. Lord Krishna and his avatars can be understood only by the grace of the Lord. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Na Medhaya Na Bahuna Shrutena Yama Evaisha Vrinute Tena Labhyas Tasyaisha Atma Vivrunute Tanum Swam. This is from Kathopanishad 1.2.23. The Supreme Lord is not obtained by the means of expert explanations, vast intelligence, or even much hearing. He is obtained only by one whom he himself chooses. To such a person he manifests his own form. Athapi te devata padambuja dvaya prasad leshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagwan mahimno nachanya eko api chiram vichinvam. This is from Bhagavatam 10.14.29. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the supreme personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue studying the Vedas for many years. Verse 249. Avtarhi Sanakhyaya Hareha Sattva Nidher Dvijaha Yatha Vidasinaha Kulayaha Sarsaha Syuh Sahasrashaha. Sahasrashaha means hundreds and thousands of times. O learned Brahman, just as hundreds and thousands of small rivulets issue from great reservoir of water, innumerable incarnations flow from Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the reservoir of power. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.26. Verse 250. Prathame Kare Krishna Purushavatara Saita Purusha Haya Trividha Prakara. In the beginning, Krishna incarnates himself as a Purushavatar or Vishnu incarnations. These are of 3 types. Purport up to this verse, the many types of expansions have been described. Now the manifestations of the Lord's different potencies will be described. So the various incarnations have been described, and now expansions have been described. Now the manifestations of the Lord's different potency shall be described from verse 251 onwards. Vishnos tu trini rupani purushakyani atho viduh ekam tu mahata srishtir Dvitiyam tva anda samasthitam tritiyam sarvabhutastam tani gyatva vimuchyate. Vishnu has three forms called Purushas. The first, Mahavishnu, is the creator of the total material energy, the Mahat. The second is Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is situated within each universe. And the third is Kshirodakshay Vishnu, who lives in the heart of every living being. He who knows these three becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya. This verse appears in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Purvakhanda 2.9, where it has been quoted from Shatvata Tantra. So we'll continue our reading from verse number 252 next time. Thank you for joining. Hariam Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. We'll try to prolong my reading from next time as my throat is getting healed slowly. So yes, keep me also in your blessings. Thank you for joining. Hariam Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. Krishna's Kaviraj Gosvāmī ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samvet Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.